What if the first proof of alien life was not their triumph, but their failure? In the silent desert of a distant world, our boots sink into dust that remembers. Broken towers lean like ribs, machines lie half-buried, cold as fossils. We expected a beacon. We found silence. We expected perfection. We found attempts. Scorch marks ring abandoned labs. Shattered lenses glitter like frost. On an obelisk, faint glyphs pulse. Breathing. Maybe this is not a graveyard. Maybe it is a classroom. Listen to the wind through metal. It whispers the first lesson. Before you succeed, you must learn to fail. In every myth, greatness begins in failure. A young sorcerer sought the flame of dawn. He rehearsed the incantation until the syllables tasted like ash. First attempt, a hiss, a spark, a painful silence. Second, backlash, shock through bone, vision swimming. Third, nothing at all. Laughter gathered at the village well. Rumors multiplied faster than courage. His hands trembled. His mentor said, "Observe the failure." So he did. He studied the scorch on stone, the singe on bark, the echo of power misaimed. Patterns emerged, breath before word, word before will surrendered to rhythm. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. He rose again before dawn, when even roosters doubted the sun. Knees raw, jaw set, the spell bucked, flared, died, then flickered. He failed again and again. He mapped each collapse like a cartographer, drawing a coastline of mistakes. On the night he nearly surrendered the staff. Rain shrouded the hills. He closed his eyes. He let the wind carry the final vowel. Light unfolded, patient and total, like morning remembering itself. The villagers fell silent. The mentor smiled at last. Magic, it turns out, is tuition paid in collapses. Mastery is the receipt. The flame of dawn did not arrive because he deserved it. It arrived because he learned to fall without quitting, because every failed spark taught him where the true wick lay, and that light kept burning long after doubt. History is written in scars. In 16th century Japan, a swordsman accepted an apprentice. On the first day, he threw him to the floor. The lesson began, where pride ended. Morning after morning, the boy rose with the mist. He bowed, advanced, felt his bokken split, wrists bruised purple, shins striped with welts. He cleaned the mats and tried again. The master offered no praise, only correction. Lower stance, softer eyes, slower breath. The boy raged in secret. Am I learning to lose? The master showed him how to fall without breaking, how to breathe inside pain, how to stand again. That's what we get taught from the kids. When you get knocked down, you get back up. When life puts you down, you rise again. Years turned like pages. Winter creaked, summer steamed. The apprentice's movements became small, then invisible. His balance grew roots. On the morning the banner drums sounded. He fastened armor with calm hands. The field drank arrows like rain. Horses screamed, steel flashed white. Fear climbed his spine. Practice cut it down. The first strike staggered him. The second missed. The third he met with perfect emptiness. The rhythm of training returned. Step, breath, blade, step. The master's voice crossed the wind. The sword is forged only in fire. By dusk, the boy was not a boy. He carried scars and a steady gaze. Victory, when it came, felt strangely quiet. like returning to a room he had cleaned 1,000 times. History will record the banner, the treaty, the names. It will not record the countless falls that shaped the hands which held the blade. Yet in every unrecorded tumble, a nerve-learned patience, a breath found measure, and a heart discovered courage sharper than steel. The future belongs to those who fail forward. The first interstellar craft, Asterion, gleams in the hangar. Algorithms predict success. Reality grins, shrugs, deletes the forecast. Launch 1, thermal runaway. Abort, scorch marks across the pad. Launch 2, guidance fails. The ship cartwheels, survives, teaches. Launch 3, a valve sticks. Combustion turns turbulent. Metal blooms like a deadly flower. Public doubt spikes. Private grief settles like dust. Engineers sleep beside consoles. The pilot dreams of falling endlessly through cloud. You only truly fail when you give up, not when you fail once or twice. Failure is just progress in disguise. On the 4th attempt, the team rewrites the quiet parts. Tolerances, timings, checklists, nobody live streams. They upgrade failure from foe to feedback. Morning fog crawls across the runway. Lights burn clean. In the cockpit, the pilot touches the scar on her forearm, remembers every briefing, every apology, every almost. Engines awaken, structures protest, then harmonize. The ship climbs, buckles, steadies. At max Q, alarms chirp, then fall silent. Atmosphere thins to ink. The curve of Earth appears, fragile and entire. When orbit grips them like a promise, the pilot does not cheer. She exhales. On her HUD, a message blooms. Failures logged. Lessons applied. Proceed. Ground control weeps quietly. In the back room, a junior engineer whispers, "Next time, better." The point was never perfection. The point was momentum, made from mistakes. Hard won. Repeat. Tomorrow the stars will feel inevitable. Today, they are earned. Failure is not the end. It is rehearsal. The universe teaches through attempt and error. Galaxies form by collapsing clouds. Muscles strengthen by tearing. Your life is built the same way. You paint badly. You learn. You speak awkwardly. You learn. You love clumsily. You learn. The trick is not avoiding the fall. The trick is learning the choreography of standing. Consider the child on the bicycle. Wobble. Tears. Then a straight line, like sunrise. Consider the student who sees a low grade as a verdict. It is not a verdict. It is a map. Consider the founder whose first product fails politely. Buried in the post-mortem, lives the next design. Failure is just progress in disguise. Wear the disguise long enough, and you stop fearing its mask. Failure is not the tomb of dreams. It is the staircase to them. Targets, set them. Attempts, log them. Feedback, convert it. You do not need confidence to begin. You need a process to continue. Try, measure, learn, try again. If shame arrives, give it a task. Take notes. If fear shouts, lower its volume with numbers. One more rep, one more draft, one more conversation started before your courage catches up. You only truly fail when you give up. Until then, you are collecting fuel. Stack your near misses like steps. Let patience lengthen your stride. Borrow the stubbornness of the samurai, the curiosity of the sorcerer, the quiet grit of the pilot. Mastery is not a door you unlock. It is a spiral staircase you climb, dizzy, determined, seeing the same view from higher and higher angles. At the summit, success will look simple to those who never saw the scaffolding. But you will know you built it from errors, held together by persistence and humble notes. Keep going. Tiny improvements compound like interest. One brave attempt today, buys 10 quiet victories tomorrow. Keep stacking tries. What we thought was their end was only their beginning. At the end of the corridor, the glyphs awaken. Our scanners translate fragments, diagrams of failure, then revision, then light. What looked like a collapse was a casting off. They did not die here, they shed. Their cities were cocoons, their engines were ladders, their ruins, lessons. We follow the mural to its final panel, figures dissolving into radiance, rising like dawn beyond atmosphere. 3 words, bright as comets: fall, rise, ascend. The wind inside the temple sounds like surf or breath. Perhaps ascension is not a miracle. Perhaps it is a practice. Before you succeed, you must learn to fail. The ship lifts, the stars do not move. We do. The message remains waiting for whoever comes next. Remember, the ruins were syllables, not conclusions. Read them aloud with your life, and let repetition refine you.